What should we do today? Let's read our Bible. Have you ever picked up your Bible and thought to yourself, I'm going to start a Bible reading plan today? What an excellent idea. So you turn to the opening of the New Testament and you're like, you were all excited to get into your New Testament, and then you open it up and you realize that the first part's just a really confusing bunch of names that you can't pronounce. It's probably a little discouraging when you open up the Bible and you realize that the first part of the first chapter is all about this right here. This is Matthew chapter 1, verses 1 through 17, 18 basically, and all of this. Just a bunch of names that are really hard to pronounce, and you're probably like, what is this? I don't even know these people, but wait, there's more. You know, I love reading about good old Zerubbabel, Shealtiel, my favorite Bible character probably. And then we get all the way down to Jesus, and we're just like, what is this? This is not the way I thought that this book was going to start out. So who are all of these people and why do they matter in the biblical story? That's a great question. And what Matthew is doing here as he opens his book up this way is actually, let me show you. We're here. Right? Oh, right there. Right there. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing right there. Matthew isn't just writing to anyone. He's writing to a specific group of people, and that is the Jews. And in our story, the Jews are going to be fish. So these are our fish. This is the ocean. And Matthew is up here doing what? Fishing for people. So what's Matthew fishing for? Well, if you know the story of the Gospels, Jesus tells people that they're going to fish for men. So he's fishing primarily to Jews. His letter was primarily written to Jews. And what is he using as bait in order to get them hooked so they'll read the rest of what he has to say? Well, that's a good question. A great author is going to hook their audience at the beginning of a book. A great salesperson is going to set the hook for their audience and going to use the bait. And this is what he's going to use as bait, and that is the family tree. See it? The family tree. So who cares about a list of names anyway? Why is that important? Well, it's important because it's his family tree. And the Messiah was prophesied to come from a particular family. And if it could be shown that he came from that family, it would be at least one line of evidence that he was who he claimed to be. Now, I get it. For you, if somebody started off their book with a family tree, you'd be like, snooze, I'm leaving. But for the Jews, that was a really big deal, especially because Jesus had to come from a specific family. And guess what? You can't fake your family tree. And so if you can prove that, that's at least an initial hook to get into somebody to say, okay, now I've proven that to you, let's consider the rest of the information. And that's what the rest of Matthew is about. So he's trying to get them to come to the table. Come to the table. Interesting. Viewing the genealogy through modern eyes may not be that significant, but through Jewish eyes, it's really significant. But I think there's also a lesson here in the approach that we take when we approach somebody with the gospel. When we meet different people, of course, we all need Jesus, but we're all coming from a different place. We have different needs, and we realize our need for Jesus in different ways. And so knowing your audience when bringing the gospel to somebody matters in what hook is actually going to be effective to get them interested.